the same problems I had. For example, when I came to New York, my brother said, first I was there like tonight, tomorrow morning, he said, I want to show you something because I know your idea of America is nice, flourishing, everything is going fine, let me take you somewhere. And he was living in Brooklyn. And he took me around to some neighborhoods that I kind of opened my eyes. We drove on some roads that had potholes, and he says, and I almost asked him, are you sure we're in America? He said, yes. I just took you here because I don't want you to get the idea that so many people came here and think it's going to be all easy. He got me on the subway. He took me on the buses, took me on the taxis, he just almost shattered me in less than 2 days. I got thinking, man, this place has a lot of potential, but it also has a lot of hard times. So the dream, what I heard about America was, and I came to find that a lot of corporate, because there's a lot of money in the corporate world, you get a lot of that show in Jamaica, and we don't get to see or hear about the little people who struggle.
So what kind of TV shows from America did you see in Jamaica?
Oh, well, there are many shows we saw, but I still remember Indy 500, because we had ABC, World of Sports. So everything happened anywhere in the world was right there in Jamaica. Anything happened, the installation of the president, installation of anybody across the world. We had, I didn't have a television, access to TV until I was probably about 21, so I'm not too certain of some of those stuff. All these little Jerry cartoon and all of these stuff, you know, Mike or whatever and Jerry, which is still my favorites. Can't find them these days.
So Tom and Jerry's a big thing in Jamaica, huh?
Oh, Tom and Jerry was a big thing. We had a time when in the mornings there was a Pink Panther.
Oh, the Pink Panther?
Oh yeah, he used to come on like, I remember the house I was living in, a friend was living there, and he would not leave the house at 6. That used to come on about 6:30, 6:45. And he would sit and watch Pink Panther every morning before he left the house to go away. We pretty much got anything US has. You know, I come to learn now how we can get the station connected up to the rest of the world. So anything is happening in any part of the world, it doesn't matter. I mean, like now it's even worse. I mean, with cable, man, you can, depending on where they get the cable from. I remember going home. It was probably when my mother died in 86, 96. Flipped on the TV one night, and there was it. Some sex movies, the horrors of the night. And I'm wondering, how did you get this? Some parts, some people have dish.
Yeah, satellite dish.
Oh yeah, a lot. I mean, there was before I came here, we had a little section in Jamaica they called Dish City. People always had dish there for a long time. So if you have dish, you're connected forever. You get a lot of stuff. You know, a lot of stuff are available, almost depending on where you're getting your news from.
So do you think you're ever going to move back to Jamaica, or do you think you're going to live here in America for the rest of your life?
You know, it's kind of funny you ask that question, but it's something that I'm still struggling with. I think that for me, I might be here for a long time. It could be another 20 years. You know, by then I'll be 77, 75. By then I don't know if I want to go back home or I want to stay here.
So do you think you're living the American dream?
Living American dream, my interpretation of that probably is having a car, have a job, have a place to stay.
So you've got all three.
I don't own a house, so I can't say I own a house. I'm sure whatever the dream is, yes. Yeah, right now, because I mean, when I was in Jamaica, I had my own car. I lived in not my own house, still lived in a rented apartment, I still do, and I had my own trade. So it's like, well, I'd reach there, and now it's like, yeah, I've gotten some education here. I better, for me, I'm better off than many other people. So, hey, I think I want to say that.
So you'd say you're living a good life?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have some of the things I want, but yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm thankful right now. I mean, every time I think about this quest, every time I reach that point, I begin to think that I have, winter is going on and I know I'm going to come home somewhere to sleep. I know I can pay my bills for heating. I can find a place to sleep. I'm not on the street like many of the other guys who are struggling. The kind of wages I get, I'm struggling because I think I could find something else. But when I think at the bottom line is I've never been to bed hungry. I don't have the kind of clothing I want, but I've never gone naked. And all through the winter, my car only stopped once because my battery went. Hey, I'm thankful. I'm really thankful that despite everything else, and after even it's even like after my divorce, it was like my world just kind of shattered. But I'm still alive, and that's part of what I like with here, and I think it's probably the same thing back home. If you have an idea what you want, and you know there are going to be a lot of difficulties in the way to make it, and you are prepared for the struggle, you'll get there. You may not get the fullest of what you want, but you can get there. Bible, a lot of these are religious practices. I've seen that you gotta be so careful about where you get involved, because the issue of the court and justice and the involvement of different religious groups, which I understand need to be considered when these things are taken into account. Of course, Jamaica is predominantly Christian. The other little religious groups are just kind of way on the fringes. So that's kind of some of this stuff.
So do you think the school system over there is better, or the one over here is better, or what aspects of that do you like, and what aspects over here do you like?
Okay, the aspects that I like over there has to do with making sure that the students are able to grasp basic reading, writing, basic math stuff. I see it here too, but I also see another aspect, especially elementary level and different other levels, where some students, because of the need for success, some people are allowed to drop through the cracks. Different communities, for example, here in Jamaica we have one central educational system. Here in the States, every state does its own thing. And it's like every little city, or whatever you call it, takes care of whatever. So if you live in a neighborhood that doesn't have the finances, you're not going to have the building, you're not going to have the teachers, you're not going to have facilities, you're not going to have all this stuff. Yes, the government provides certain amount of money to take care of certain things, but the other little stuff that is not. So that for me, the back home, the way the things were when I was there, I can't talk about now because I hear quite a few things are changing. The things I like here is the busing. Students are allowed they have transportation to get to school. They don't really have to be involved with other people. In some areas, the way the teachers take interest in the students, and that probably comes with where you are, how much money is available, the kind of teachers, and all of this stuff takes care of the planning. It's also the easy movement of from one place to the next. But what comes along with that is it's really the people who can survive are the fittest. If the student is not showing a lot of initiative, if the school is not performing,